Hey, what's happening?
How are you,
Welcome.
brother?
How you doing?
I went into your office. I didn't see you there. They told me you were on the floor checking things out. I figured you had to be at one of your new machines.
That's it. That's it. This is one of our new Okuma MB4000s, horizontal pallet machine that we're excited about.
Who doesn't get excited about that? I mean,
Absolutely.
honestly, I've done enough conversations on the idea of horizontal machining, the idea of coolant and gravity and chips and longer life and more parts on a tombstone.
Yeah.
But you said, you know what? I'm not satisfied with just one rotation. Give me the whole pallet pool, right?
Exactly. We love when he set this thing up. It's running at night when you leave, and it's still running when you come back in the next day. So
you feel it printing money?
I love
Is that what's going
I
on?
love that. Yeah, keeping our customers happy.
Yeah. Let's talk about your customers, because if we were to pan around this room right now and see all these new Okumas, you guys started in 1979.
Yeah.
You were pretty much known as a Swiss screw type facility.
Yeah.
And over the years, as you have come in and you've had teammates bring new ideas, then you said, you know what? Let's get into mill turn.
Yeah.
Let's get into 5-axis and horizontal, which we're looking at right now. Let's talk about your customers, your existing base, and maybe your potential base as well.
Yeah, so we started out, like you said, as kind of a Brown and Sharp machine shop, cam operated, invested in Swiss, but I think primarily we were known as a turning shop. And over the years, we're looking at our customer base, we're looking, how are we going to grow this business, and saying, what better way to grow than with the customers we already have? Everyone that buys Swiss turning also needs milling, also needs EDM, also needs other things. So we said, all right, let's start to vertically integrate more and see what we can do. So that's when we started bringing in more of the mill turn, because that was close to Swiss, not quite Swiss, but at least on the same path, more turning work. And then went further and started investing in more of the milling equipment, full 5-axis, so you can see behind you there. And then we have 4-axis and 3-axis as well. So yeah, it's been really fun to grow, like I said, with existing customers, looking at what their needs are other than the turning parts. And then doing more mechanical assembly as well. So really moving up in the value stream for those customers.
Dan, you are around or over 90,000 square feet.
Yes.
And I could stand here all day long and gawk at this sexy machinery here.
Yeah.
But if we don't start walking, the audience isn't going to get to see everything we're talking about.
Let's go. We'll keep walking.
Another situation where you said, yeah, I need some 5-axis machining, but you know what? One's not enough. Let's get the whole pallet pool again.
Yeah, we got the 32 pallets, Aero system. We're really excited about that. We got room right here for another one, so that's coming in 2026.
I need to be a sales guy. I'm going to switch jobs. You mentioned something back there that I think is important for the audience to maybe listen to one more time. And you said, we want to be able to do more for our customers. You mentioned EDM. You mentioned, being able, I'm not sure if you did, but I know you do, laser marking, things like that. You are really hoping and wanting to be, for the folks out there who have 10 different customers or 10 different clients to work with, to piecemeal their parts together. You're saying, look, we can do it all for you right here.
Exactly. Yeah, be more of a one-stop shop, more vertically integrated. Again, being able to support some of the toughest most demanding customers out there, from defense, aerospace, medical, industrial, semiconductor. All of these companies, these big OEMs, they do a lot of the assembly work in-house. They're buying, parts from all different suppliers, and they say, hey, we can do all of that here, and we can put it together for you. We affectionately named it BFP, buy fewer parts.
I like it.
That's what we kind of sell to them, and it says, hey, rather than buying all these different components and putting it together yourself, why don't we do that for you? It's less for you to manage, it's less invoicing, it's less quality checks. It's much better for everyone. So
I want to pause here real quick, because I heard a rumor. I need you to tell me if this is real.
Yeah.
I see the Citizen machine.
Yes.
I heard your dad walked into a show. He called it the Chicago show, but I believe it might have been IMTS.
Yeah, IMTS. Yeah.
And he walked over to the Citizen booth. He looks at the sales guy. He goes, that looks good. I'll take 12.
Yes.
Did he really do that?
Accurate. Yeah.
This is accurate.
Jack McGinnis, if you're out there, can verify that. No, he absolutely did. If you know my father, he doesn't buy one of anything. And that's a true story.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
And it seems to me a little bit like the Okuma section. You're kind of following in your dad's footsteps.
Same suit, yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we kind of dive headfirst into it. It's not something that we're going to take lightly. Again, when we're looking at supporting our customers, we know the demands out there. we're going to jump in head first and build it out to support the customer.
I'm also seeing something, and this might not be a perfect segue as to the machining, but we're passing it.
Yes.
We passed 1, 2. I think we're about to pass another. You have implemented Datanomics here.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we're very excited about that. We've been using them for quite a while, continuing to develop it all the time. You know, that's one of the things we like about our partnership with Datanomics is that we're continuing looking at how we can improve the product for them and for us. You know, we throw out a lot of ideas and they're quick to implement them. We have a really good team internally that works with their great team as well. So they're just helping us move into the future, kind of self-managing the cells rather than having that one person that's always driving it. You know, having these people have a little bit of ownership and understanding what's a good day look like versus a bad day. So that's what we're excited about.
Well, anyone who's watching, if you want to dive more into that conversation, Justin and I had a great tour of this facility as well. And I learned something. I really like Justin, just so you know, Dan. But what I learned was, for the first time ever, the digital world is connecting the human world.
Absolutely.
I've had so many conversations with successful Datanomics customers, and they go, it's helped me improve my process, my lead time, my cycle times. It's helped me realize that maybe my machine is running at 40% and not 80%. Yeah. But Justin took it to another level.
Yep.
He said, it allows us to improve together, to grow together, to feel safe and support each other. So again, for you folks out there, give that a look. All right, so let's continue on this journey. What industries do you currently work in?
Yeah, so we're mostly defense, medical, aerospace, industrial, and semiconductor. So kind of hit most of them, to be honest with you. By design, you know, we try to be diversified. We don't want to be too into one industry where, you know how the market goes.
Yes.
You know, usually when one's down, one's up. So we purposely diversify our business. But as you can imagine, right now the defense side is probably the busiest. Semiconductor a close second.
Well, somebody will watch this video 5 years from now and it might be different.
True.
But so it's great to hear how diversified you are. And I think by showcasing all of these different machines, companies out there are going to realize, A, you're reliable.
Yep.
B, you've been in business for almost 50 years.
Yeah.
C, you're family owned and operated. D, you're willing to invest in technology like your EDMs, like Swiss turning, like 5-axis, like horizontal, to be a one-stop shop for people. If I'm watching this video right now, you've checked almost every single box, if not every box I have, when it comes to finding a partner that I can rely on and trust.
Yeah, we're strategically focused. We're looking at the future. We're trying to grow this business. So when we're looking for customers, we want customers that are on the leading edge, that are also trying to grow their businesses so we can grow together. That's really what it's all about.
That makes sense. And I was listening to you 100%, but I saw something sexy over your shoulder. And maybe it was a little bit of you too, Dan.
No, it's definitely me. Yeah. Yes.
But this looks like a clean room to me. Are we allowed to go inside?
I'm a little dirty. Inside right now. Yeah, I can't go in. But you know, we built this in 2022 on spec. We didn't really have the work for it, but again, it was part of our strategy. It was to move up in the value stream for our customer base. We saw a need to have a clean environment for assembly, and so we built this out, and now it's quickly filled up with a lot of different types of assembly work, mostly in the defense industry right now, but we're moving into others as well, medical and others. So
again, we're talking about defense, but 3-5 years from now,
that
clean room is going to be used for
medical,
so much.
Yeah, you don't know exactly.
All right, I now have to admit something to you. I'm a kid, man. In my heart, I am still a kid. I might be a certain age on the outside, but I think back to my creativity inside the machining world, having patents at one time of being creative. And I think I see a room where I would have thought it was a candy store.
So we'll walk in here.
This room we can go in.
Yeah, we can go in this
amazing.
One.
Amazing.
Yeah, so this is our tool room. So this is where we keep a lot of the non-consumable toolings. This is where we do a lot of R&D efforts. So if you look at these nice cabinets here, these are all filled with tooling, whether it's end mills, spots, drills, you name it. These are things that are filled up. So there's a lot of money tied up in this room, but it gives us a lot of flexibility when we're doing R&D. That's part of one of the services we offer, is that kind of DFX, design for X, right? Manufacturability for cost. In order to do that, we need to be testing out processes, testing out tooling. So we have all of that here for our setup guys. So our engineers love this room. Like you said, it's like their candy store. So they come in, they're able to try different things. and really kind of test out and hone in a process.
I'm going to ask you a question. I hope it's not too personal.
Yeah.
I hope we can answer it together.
Yeah.
But I look at this room and the way you described it, and yes, it's very obvious as you've invested millions. I mean, easily.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the engineers and it being a candy store, and I totally can agree with that, empathize as well. I would like to have a discussion with you real quick. A lot of times when potential customers and clients reach out with something a little tricky or a little more time consuming or something that does take a bit of creativity, it is a lead time of usually months, to be honest, and sometimes can even be longer than that. I would envision, and this is where you're going to correct me maybe, I would envision that a room like this with so many options makes that lead time a lot shorter, which is one of your goals as well, is say, reach out to us, see if we can do it, because we have a room full of toys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we might be able to knock it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We take pride in that. I think we like to be involved early on in like the NPI, the new product introduction phase, so that we can work with our customers, because a lot of them, they can draw something really nice, but they've never run one of these machines. They don't know how the Swiss work. They don't know this tolerance or this feature they added, increase their costs or increase the complexity of the part. But we love to be involved early stage with these customers so that we can have some influence on how the part's designed. We have a great team of engineers here. One of the best things we can hear is how the part is used, so that we can understand what the function of that part actually is and give them feedback based on that and based on our experience.
I'm gathering a lot of information. I don't think you've said this yet, but my brain works in really strange ways. As people who watch my channel regularly, they already know I'm a bit of a kook. I'm starting to gather that you really enjoy making sure that your partners are taken care of, not just for today, but for the long haul. And that's the people you want to work with and grow with over the years, and make sure that together you're doing something that's powerful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We look at ourselves as an extension of their manufacturing, right? So we're really looking for companies and customers that are thinking the same way, looking at us as more of a partner. It's not just that kind of typical customer-supplier relationship. It's a partnership. We're in this together. Let's figure out the problems together, and let's make ourselves successful together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I want to figure out how to do that with you too.
Yeah.
Let's continue our tour. I think we have one more stop along the way.
Yeah, yep.
Which maybe, discussionably, might be the most important stop on our tour, Dan, because you can cut stuff all day long, but if you can't measure that stuff, brother,
that's right.
You may as well not even make it, right?
Absolutely.
So
quality is the most important thing. We take a lot of pride in the parts that come out of our shop. Oftentimes we say they look like jewelry. But yeah, so after every shift, the parts come into our quality department. They're doing spot inspections, so they have an AQL level that they inspect to, and then they're passing it on to the next operation. But yeah, this is definitely one of the hearts of the operation. I'd say engineering, obviously the manufacturing floor, and here in order to get good product to our customer.
Let me ask you, because I don't think we've done any name dropping yet.
Yeah.
Certs that you might have, because I think when somebody's watching this, they also want to know what you currently are qualified for, maybe what you're trying to get, or anything along the way. Because again, like I mentioned, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you will have something, right?
Yeah.
So what do you currently have, so that people out there who have questions will already know the answer?
Yeah, so we're AS 9100 certified, which is aerospace and defense. We're ISO 9001. Certified as well. We've been that since 1998, I think. So we were early on in that. Yeah, exactly. Yep. We also have our ITAR certification, working towards level 2 CMMC, which is the cybersecurity maturity model certification. We have our JCP certification. We're ISO 13485 certified. We didn't really find the need for that in our customer base, even though they're medical customers. They relied on their own internal auditing. So we still maintain ISO 13485 in our quality manuals, but we just don't have the certification right now. But that thing can be turned on at any point. So yeah, it's just a matter of paying the auditor to come in and do it.
I feel like with 90,000 square feet, we actually went through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, we skipped a couple little parts. So yeah.
Do you want to talk about those parts?
Yeah.
Or, okay,
yeah. So we do a lot of secondary operations, whether it's deburring. Sometimes it's hand deburring. Sometimes we have machines like Mr. Deburr that do that stuff as well. We have our warehouse, obviously, that we kind of skipped, our material handling, our scrap. That's one of the big things, because we're subtractive manufacturing, right? We're not additive. We're dealing with a lot of chips. And so we take all those, we grind them down, we put those into a bin, and we sell those off to one of our vendors. And then, we get paid for that, and we back figure that into our prices, so that our customers can recoup some of that as well.
I like everything you just said, which brings me back, and I do not think we're going to discuss this story, but that's kind of how you got into the EDM world as well.
Yeah.
Just taking care of your customers, saying, I can do that, which is something I believe your dad did
Yeah,
in the very beginning.
yep.
If you see something and you think you can improve on it, you think you can do it in-house, and you think it'll also benefit your customer, you say, let's try.
Yeah.
Right?
One of our core values is can-do attitude. That's how the company was founded. I think we shared the story with you a little earlier, but basically the whole company was founded on when my grandfather, who was my mom's dad, had equity in a company. The guy kind of screwed him out of it, and my dad said, well, screw him, we'll start our own company. The can-do attitude, right? So that's the genesis of the company. But then when we started looking at more business cases, and we were dealing with a defense customer, and we were sending this part to be EDM'd, and we were having quality issues, we were having delivery issues, they were charging us a lot of money for it. So I went to our defense customer and said, hey, I know we don't do EDM right now, but I know we can do this, right? We cut metal for a living, that's what we do. So we ended up making the case, we quoted it, we ended up bringing the EDM in-house. We got rid of the quality problems, we got rid of the delivery problems, and then by the way, we saved them $16 a part.
I didn't know
we
if
shipped
you
over
would say it, but you
100,000
did
of
it.
them. We shipped
And
100,000.
it's a true story. I didn't
Yeah.
know how far he'd go, but he did it for us.
Yeah.
That to me is real proof of I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
You know, I can
Yep.
use a lot of adjectives about, gouging people and this
Yeah,
and that,
yeah.
but ultimately what I've realized about you is you really want all of these partnerships to matter. So if I've seen this video, if I've seen your tour, if I've seen the machines, the investment, the growth, all of the things that we've already checked off along this tour, I only need to know how I can get in touch with you.
Yeah, hey.
And am I limited if I'm watching this from, say, Japan or wherever in the world I'm watching this, am I also allowed to work with you?
Yeah.
Those are, I think, the only two questions I have left.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We ship worldwide. We don't do a ton outside of the United States. That's where a majority of our business is in the United States. But we ship worldwide. A lot of our customers are headquartered in the U.S. and have facilities that we ship to of theirs outside of the United States. But encourage you to go to our website, cmprecisiontech.com. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm always on there and keeping an eye out for things. Email us. You can email our info at cmprecisiontech.com. Give us a call. I feel like no one calls anymore. I feel like it's just emails mostly, but
or text.
Yeah, or text messages, right? Yeah, I won't give my cell phone number on this.
Don't do
that.
that.
Yeah. But no, we'd be happy to hear from anyone. So
amazing,
yeah.
Dan.
Hey,
I really, honestly appreciate you allowing us to bring cameras into such a high caliber company.
Appreciate it.
To see what you're up to.
Yeah.
As someone who believes in this industry and wants to make it visible, your team, your family, your culture, everything that you're doing is an inspiration.
Appreciate that.
It's being able to connect this bridge of people who think that it's our great-great-grandfather's shops and to see all of this technology and go, I didn't know we could do that. So thank you. Thank you for
absolutely.
changing the game.
Thank you
for building the bridges. And thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, leave it in the comments. Like always, we always tell you to do that. We want to connect. As Dan already said, you know where to find them now. And if you're looking for that reliable partner, where it's, how did you call it? From dock
to stock.
There it is.
Dock
From
to
dock
stock.
to stock. That type of partner. This is your go-to team. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again soon.